deplorable state of northern roads compared to the perceived progress in southern infrastructure. He also argued that this imbalance contributes to insecurity and poverty in the north. Let's take a look.
Let me say at this point that we support infrastructure anywhere in this country. In fact, I was telling myself that I wished that road was done before 2023 election, because I was the only aspirant or candidate who traveled to all nooks and corners across this country. I would have used that road. So we support roads everywhere and any other thing that is good for the people, especially for the masses. But a situation where government is taking our resources and dumping it in what part of the country, and other parts of the country are left just like that, I don't believe that is the right thing to do by the government itself. And this is the time for the government to change, to convince our people that the government is not just on one side of the country.
All right. I mean, this is a valid concern, Rufai Oseni. But, it has gotten, a lot of reactions. And I'll take one before I come to you. This is from Amos Osime, who wrote on X, "While I may support Tinubu, Kwankwanso's divisive rhetoric and tribal antagonism hinder Nigeria's progress. It's notable he didn't raise similar concerns during Buhari's presidency. The sense of entitlement among some northern politicians could exacerbate divisions and potentially lead to the country's fragmentation. One possible solution could be for Tinubu to consider restructuring towards regional governance, reducing the central government's allure and power struggles." And I think for me, that really hit the nail on the head with this conversation. Your thoughts?
See, Oji, we all know the politics that gets played in this country. And you see, that's why this thing about the region the president comes from matters a lot. It's not supposed to be the case in Nigeria, but we've bastardized our political system so much and our ethos. And that's why you were talking about when they asked the chair of the APC, what's the ideology of the party? They can't tell you because there's no ideology. The only ideology of politicians in Nigeria is to grab power, use it for yourself, your family members, and people around you, so that you can get a political cult following, get as much money as you can, and save for the rainy day where you have to launch for a political attempt again. That's the only ideology of every Nigerian politician. What he's saying now is he feels because President Tinubu is from the south, we're having projects like Coastal Road, we're having other major projects in the south, 15 trillion worth. They will look and say, why can't that pass through us? But the same people have nothing to say when President Buhari did a Kanu Maradi line.
Those were the questions.
That a lot of us argued here. There was nothing wrong with it. When most of the infrastructure and the projects were done in parts of the north, there was nothing wrong with it. But here they feel, he's doing Coastal Road, he's doing this. He said the infrastructure is way better. Where are the roads in the southwest? Try traveling. I travel a lot on the highway. The Benin-Shagamu interchange is not any better.
Yeah.
The road that had problems around the Lishon area is still as terrible as no man's business. So where is the so-called infrastructure in the southwest that they are doing, that they claim that they are doing? We are all caught in this quagmire of bad roads in the country, spanning across close to the over 200,000 kilometers of roads we have. It's mostly bad, in deplorable condition. So this idea to regionalize it and say, Tinubu is doing a lot in the south, they are doing everything, and he's telling it to a captive audience, that's not the way to go. But that's the game politicians play when it's close to politics, period. So him that is trying to talk as if we have the best of roads in this south. On the stretch, when you look at quality of road in some other parts of this country, it's probably even better than where he's claiming that the South has a very good stretch of road.
Yes.
Is it not the same South we are? Don't we do road trips in this country? I do a lot of road trips.
I know you do.
I don't know of you.
I know you do.
You get.
Yes.
So there's nothing there. It's just this north and side divide. But you see,
shouldn't be.
Nigeria will never move forward as long as we don't put competence on the table in the North and South divide. Maybe in our lifetime or in our children's lifetime, we will be able to have people that will see beyond this. But it will continue. If a northern leader gets in there tomorrow, somebody from the south will come the next minute and say the same thing. It's this ding-dong affair, but it doesn't move Nigeria forward.
30 seconds.
What are we dealing with here? We're dealing with the politics of ethnicity and geography, the north-south divide. Now, when the Western press says, oh, Nigeria is north versus south and all that, we don't like it. We try to correct them and say, no, the country is not that homogeneously divided. But the truth of the matter is that some people, politicians, political leaders, they piggyback on politics of geography and also religion and also ethnicity. Now, Dr. Kwankwaso was speaking at the constitutional dialogue in Kano, and it was at that forum that he made that point. Number one, he says in the allocation of budget, that budget allocation favors one part of the country against the other. It did not provide the evidence. That's the kind of thing that can cause problems in the country. As a statesman, I think that you should not talk about lopsided allocation of national budget without having the right evidence. Two, he talked about routes. He said he traveled from Abuja to Kaduna, Kano, to wherever, and Kano to Kaduna to Abuja, and the roads were bad. The roads are also bad in other parts of the country. But what we can say is not to play ethnic politics.
That is it.
Is to say that the government should be committed. After all, the Ministry of Works says they are doing so many roads. And then he had the very, emotional beef, more or less, about the Lagos-Calabar highway.
Yes.
And
But also
says,
I heard that there is a new proposal that they're asking for more money for that highway. I heard about $47 million.
Yes. That was in an application to the House of Representatives
for the coastal highway,
by President Tinubu.
Right.
It's about variation.
Yes.
He's saying that, okay, variation, the money has gone up. So, again, Lagos-Calabar highway, there is no way it will be used only by Southerners. It's a long stretch of road in Nigeria. All of us will use it. So we should not play politics with infrastructure. President Tinubu has said, he's interested in infrastructure development and all that. We will not agree with the fact that the administration is trying to borrow more money. They have even sent another application to borrow more money.
Yes, I saw that.
And they are saying, the threshold that we have reached is 50%, whereas the UN regulated threshold is 56%. Must you borrow everything? So that my great-grandchildren will be the ones to pay for it.
This is it.
So these are the questions that we raise.
All right.
So if they say borrow till 56%, then you say, we have not borrowed enough. And then the money is not used for productivity.
Come on.
Those are the kind of points that can be made. But this north-south politics, I think that Dr. Kwankwaso should rise above that as a statesman.
Dr. Kwankwaso, please try traveling for Warri to Benin and see the state of the road that is saying is very good in the south. You should just try Warri to Benin. Dr. Abati, my reply to you, is it your borrowing? What is your is it your borrowing? If they let them borrow everything.
Was my colleague. We know each other very well. And I liked him. I still do. But politically, we don't agree. I do not subscribe to his views and his certain matters. Now, let me tell you this. On the 4th or 3rd of June, I was invited by Academic Staff Union of Universities of University of Nigeria, Nsukka, to deliver a lecture. And that's in Enugu State. I was once a governor. I'm no longer a governor. I know what the protocol is. It's not written. It's a matter of common sense and a matter of decency, but also in my latest self-interest. I told my orderly, can you get the phone number of, can I reach the governor of Enugu State? Because I don't have his number. He said he doesn't have to go and look for it. Eventually, he was able to get the ADC. And he got the ADC, and he gave me the phone, and I spoke to the ADC. ADC, please, can you connect me with the governor? I want to speak with him. He said, it's not available. Okay. Can you help me convey a message that I have this invite, which I have accepted to honor, and I will be coming to Enugu tomorrow or next tomorrow. I will be grateful if the His Excellency is informed of my visit. Number two, I will be even more happy if he can assist me with a vehicle and to provide me with security from the airport to Nsukka. There is no law in Nigeria that says I must do that. But having been a governor, even though now no more a governor, I understand that the governor of Enugu State needs to know I am in his territory. Not that the Nigerian Constitution says I should say so. It's a matter of personal discipline and protocol. When I was governor of Edo State, President Olusegun Obasanjo, if you do remember President Olusegun Obasanjo,
indeed,
you remember that he was described
nobody can ever forget President Obasanjo
as behaving as alternate president. And running NSC like a parallel government, wanted to overthrow his government. He accused me of treason. So we were not best of friends. But there was nothing personal. It's just that I questioned and I fought against some of his policies. But when, after being president, I now became governor, and even at that, I believe I was rigged out of, not that I believe, I was rigged out by his party, the PDP, under a policy of do or die. But I went to court and I defeated his party, and I was sworn in. As former president of Nigeria, not just for a former governor, former president of Nigeria that command the amount of respect that you have acknowledged. He was coming to Edo. He informed me that I would be coming to Edo, and he said he was going to do XYZ. Okay, and he would like to see me. Oh, fine. So we arrange, get vehicle to the airport to receive him, to accord him all the necessary respect, provide all the logistics he required, as well as security, and even humbled me by coming to my residence. And immediately asked him, why are you here? He said, this is Obasanjo now, to quote, whoever you think you are, when you are going to a state, there is a constitutional authority in that state, and you are a politically exposed person. It is just normal and out of respect that you go, even if that person is your grandson, to say, Mr. Governor, I am in your territory. That is why he has come to inform me he's in Edo and to share with me what somebody he wants to do, and for me to accord him on respect.
But
that's where it should be. So all that, now let's face it, the property of Edo State government is trusted in the hand of Edo State governor. Right? So if anyone, myself inclusive, and I believe you inclusive, if I go to Enugu State or Anambra State when Obi was governor, and I want to visit a government-owned facility like a NOSI institution, it's a matter of decency and self-respect to say, I'll be coming, I'll be visiting not a private facility. That school is built, equipped, and owned and funded by the state government 100%. So Peter Obi's handout is not any way compared to what the government institutionally provide every year in the budget
I understand
to support that institution.
Well, let me come in here.
It doesn't matter the fact that he has good intention.
Yeah.
But Obi as a former governor shouldn't allow that to be
I understand what you mean.
So maybe what you might argue is how you interpret choice of words.
Right.
But the intention of Governor Monday is clear to me.
Well,
please, if you are coming, it's just nice that you inform me. If you ask Obi, now what I've just told you now, I gave an example of myself. I've given you an example of Obasanjo. What is wrong with Obi?
Yeah, but let me just say this. I think you've made
That's
that.
all he said.
I think you've
so
made
when you
that
now
point.
make it like you have to get a license.
I think you've made that point.
And so on and so forth.
But
No, I don't think it's
I see what
sense.
you mean. But it is.
And remember,
You see-
in your station, I want
Right.
you saying that the Edo State government issued a statement that what the governor implied is not to say you must take permission. It's just for
they
political
tried
purpose
to,
and security purpose. Not that they
But
tried to.
What
They did.
I was going to say is this.
You prefer to ignore that denial.
Do you think I might get
You
a
think
word
the
in
government
here?
is afraid when he said look, I didn't mean to say he need license.
No, I understand that. You've made the point.
That's it.
But what I'm
I think we should bury it. There is no what more airtime.
Yeah, well, what I just wanted to say is that you have explained it very articulately. And I think the problem is that there is the governor of Edo State, the current one, is not the most articulate person in the world. I mean, that's not it's not an insult or a criticism, it's just the way he is. And the way that it came across to people and the way that he communicated it to people sounded very threatening. And people don't like being threatened, especially when they see somebody who they consider to be, for many of them, their political hero being in some ways denigrated. That's the way they saw it.
It's okay.
But the way that you have explained
now,
it...
Give it the quality of your airtime. I don't think you should discuss it further.
Okay, well, let's...
It, and I think that is what it is.
I think you've made that point.
I am sure, Governor Peter Obi, whatever he wants to say, he knows that this is not a big deal.
Yesterday, the president himself, President Tinubu, admitted that the APC governors in particular, and governors in general, aren't delivering. He talked about voluble complaints at the grassroots against the governors and said they needed to, in his words, wet the grass more and lead the way to progressive change. That's an admission that things aren't going very well on that level, aren't they? And that the hope of Nigerians simply isn't being renewed. And people, I'm wondering, I mean, people are wondering, it's been 2 years of the Tinubu administration. Time has not only flown, it's flipped past. I mean, but it doesn't look as if that energy of change is there, for the president to be saying that?
The energy is there. Now, this is the problem, when you should acknowledge and comment, you try to interpret it in a negative fashion. Now, for me, it's a mark of statesmanship. The president said, fortunately for us right now, in this hall, we have 23 now out of 36 state governors. And he explained that he took off under a very, very challenging environment, an economy that was in serious crisis. We are beginning to see stability. He acknowledged that more work needs to be done, but a lot of progress has been made and more work needs to be done. And he said, in spite of all the effort that he has made and the stability we are beginning to see, of course, he still hears. And for me, that should be acknowledged, that President acknowledged that he's not unaware that in spite of what anybody might say, in spite of all the positive statistics that we can point at, people still feel that things can be better. So governors, try and do more. To encourage someone to do more is not to dismiss him that he's not doing anything.
No.
And I think what you should say is that he has put you out of business. Because you seek, like the last time I was here, you had to remind me that things are not perfect. Nigeria is not heaven. Now you saw the president of Nigeria saying, I am aware, which means he's in touch with the grassroots, that the ordinary man is still feeling some hit level. So can you do more? You think to ask somebody to do more is to dismiss him, is to say that he hasn't been doing anything?
Well,
no. What president is saying
the
is we should listen.
Statistics don't support what you're saying.
First, is revealing to us that don't think I am not aware. I am aware that it's part of the effort the federal government is making and the effort that the state governors are making. There is still a level of stress. Please do more.
Well, when you ask somebody to do more, Renewed Hope manifesto, which I went through again today, is that you're going to attract enormous amounts of foreign direct investment. You are going to create a lot of jobs. In fact, you are going to create an ecosystem that supports the creation of many, many jobs. You said in that manifesto that you would raise FDI to the highest level, but far from it, the central bank. So when you talk about selective statistics, this is coming from the central bank, reported that FDI in 2025 has decreased by 19.35%, with only about $250 million coming in so far. And not only did FDI decline, but there was also a significant reversal in portfolio investment, with a net divestment of more than $5 billion. That's central bank figures. And the reason given is that the government is not implementing measures to encourage international investment and address capital flight.
Measures such as what?
Well, I have to ask you that
question. No, you are the one reading. Read.
I have to ask you that question.
No. What are the measures? What are the measures?
You have to tell us.
You choose to read what I
am simply quoting what the central bank has said.
No, you see, I come from a world in which I am trained and encouraged to interrogate, to question, and to dispute.
But are you disputing that these are not
I can dispute anything. Everything is disputable. Because you are not quoting the Bible.
But that's what the central bank said.
You are not quoting the Bible, you are not quoting the Quran. But I have also read where some international institutions, although I don't want to place much emphasis on them, because like I said in many other quarters, we have to rate ourselves that have acknowledged that the president is pursuing sensible economy policies.
Yeah, but they also criticize...
You don't allow somebody to finish.
No, well, go ahead.
Because you want to talk to yourself, why do you invite me? They also said, they also said, therefore I shouldn't say what they say first.
Go ahead, please.
Fine. So they've acknowledged that he has removed a lot of some of the disincentives where you have two classes of Nigerians where in the name of business you can access, depending on your connections, exchange rate at a certain margin. And I be the ordinary man on the street. I go for that exchange rate. I buy what you call black. There's nothing black about that market. It's an efficient market. But the margin is almost 100%. Which is why a lot of people didn't need to work. All you did is to have connection. And you become multi-billion rich. Which distort our value system. And you hear young people saying, it is not what you know that matters. It is who you know. When you see young people are not so young, making money without any business address. That has been eliminated. How you buy your dollar, how I buy my dollar is not the same market. That is huge. This president could have decided to continue with the old business. But when you quote what we said in the manifesto, and I don't, you did just selectively quote it, did we say this will be done at 24 months? Did you say that?
I am simply quoting.
Now,
you asked me a question.
You can quote it. So if you are
but you asked me a question, let me answer.
Quote in full. I was Deputy Director General of the campaign, right? We did say at halftime, this is what it's going to be. No. But the truth of the matter is, whether you acknowledge it or not, things are a lot better now than they were just a year ago.
Okay.
Because he tried to restructure the system and redirect the economy, carry out the kind of surgery that had to be done, a very complicated economic surgery. The patient has to experience some initial serious pains before it gets stabilized. Now the patient is stabilized.
Yeah, but
we are expecting that the patient will get back on the
well, we're out of time. The key point here is that it's the same APC government that went from 2015 and right now to 2025.
Now,
so we look at you as a 10-year
I watched your program earlier in the day.
And not a 2-year government.
Because democracy did start with APC in 1995 with PDP. By the time they used it in 2016, the PDP had a debate, which you have refused to use. It is because you covered it, where they said they want to change their name because of the way they mismanage the country. Other PDP oil was selling at $140 a barrel. No government has had the opportunity of such huge revenue for 16 unbroken years.
Well, it wasn't like that for now 16
that the 2 years, the PDP couldn't fix it 16 years, that Tinubu could have fixed it in 2 years.
No, I'm not talking about Tinubu. I'm talking about a 10-year period of APC.
Also give us 60 years, then you score.
Right, okay. On that